Hey guys, so we got a lot of Doom information today due to Game Informer, and I thought I could make a highlights video to showcase the new or interesting stuff that I found throughout the magazine, and I will give you guys the link of the Doom featured parts if you want to read it for yourself or see the new pictures of the game because they definitely look nice. With that said, like always, let's just get right into business. The first thing that captured my interest was the fact that Doom will not be a story-driven game. It's not like Call of Duty or Gears of War where these games try to be, very serious and dramatic with its story. Doom is not any of that. It just wants to be over-the-top fun, but also be transgressive at the same time. Later on in the magazine, the developers confirmed that the game is heavily inspired by heavy metal in terms of the locales like hell. Surprisingly enough, the game actually does have some sort of story content included, like the backstory if you want some sort of story within the game, but it's all optional. Basically, what that means is there's going to be collectibles in the game. These collectibles actually might mean something just based on how well they're written. I'm not too surprised that Doom isn't going after a storyline because we all know that Doom has never been that kind of game, but I am interested in collecting the collectibles because I know I'm gonna try to get some of the achievements in this game, and I do want to see how good the story can be whether I read them or listen to them through audio logs. Overall, it was nice for id to finally confirm whether the new Doom was going to be story driven or not at all. The next thing I want to talk about is the weapon system. So a lot of people thought the weapon wheel was going to be the only way you can switch weapons, but it clarified that it can be swapped like the older Dooms where you can just instantly switch to a weapon that you want conveniently. Basically, the weapon wheel is similar to how Wolfenstein The New Order worked on consoles. You press the shoulder button and you use a thumbstick to choose that particular weapon while you're holding the shoulder button. You can still do that, but you can also tap a shoulder button and just flick your thumbstick to a certain weapon if you don't want that slow motion while switching to your weapons like you do with the weapon wheel option. Let's just say that I know there's a shotgun positioned up on the weapon wheel. If I just simply, tapped RB and just flick my right thumbstick in quick succession, I'll instantly whip out the shotgun without going through the weapon wheel. I thought it was good for id to talk about this because I remember people were concerned about this feature, but yeah, it's cool that id decided to throw in their own twist to this feature. Also, they decided to leave the chainsaw and BFG for their own action key because they found these guns to be very situational throughout the game. Upgrades are finally explained in this magazine, so id already confirmed that Doom would have some sort of upgrade system like the weapon mods, and apparently it can go up to 15 or so weapons if you manage to find all of their modifications throughout the game. Id also stated there's health, armor, and ammo upgrades where you have to find Argent cells throughout the campaign. You have equipment upgrades, which is based on performance like your agility or equipment effectiveness, and you have to find enhancement tokens to get these perks. There's also one more upgrade where you have to find runes, and they're there to give you special upgrades like swapping weapons that make you move faster. So there's quite a bit of stuff in the game, and just reading from it, it seems like the skill tree or upgrade system might be similar to the Wolfenstein's perk system, but it looks like you have to find them rather than do challenges to earn them. Also, somewhat where in the magazine it's also confirmed that the game will have secrets, so I'm assuming secrets will most likely give you these upgrades or perks as you play the campaign. I found a lot of the multiplayer info to be fairly straightforward and nothing new, but I thought it was interesting that they talked about Clan Arena, which if you've played Quake, it's pretty much what you expect, but I found it pretty interesting that it's only capped up to 10 players. If you've never played Clan Arena or Quake, it's basically where you start off with all the weapons including max health and armor, and you only have one life and your goal is to kill the other team. It's kind of like a Counter-Strike take on arena shooters. I did find it interesting that they talked about a new mode called Warpath, which reminds me of King of the Hill. They talked about hack modules, which are basically perks, and man, these perks seem pretty overpowered because if you do these challenges right, You can have wall hacks on your recent killer, or the game will basically time all the power-ups for you just for a temporary amount of time. But it just feels very, intimidating if you're someone who doesn't like hand-holding features in a multiplayer. Hopefully these challenges will not be easily doable, because I can see some balance issues for sure. Finally, we get to Snap Map. A lot of information seemed pretty standard fare, and the stuff I've already knew about. It supports single player, multiplayer, co-op, but I thought it was pretty interesting, and apparently it's so simple that you can create a map in less than 15 minutes. But it's also confirmed that it's a feature that's hard to master if you really want to optimize the feature to its fullest potential. There was a demo of certain snap map projects, like the traditional single player map, a tower defense, race, and a VIP escort. I thought it was neat that all of those projects really differ from each other, and maybe this thing could be more advanced than I originally thought. There were details of triggering enemy behavior, like if an enemy sees you and you're in a room full of explosive barrels, you can actually make them attack the barrels once they see you, or triggering an enemy spawn based on the player's action. It was definitely cool to finally see more details about Snap Map, and I personally thought it was even cooler they managed to get Tom Mustang, who used to make Doom maps way back in the day, and he actually did make some maps for the official Doom 2 add-ons like Master Levels or Final Doom to work on Snap Map. Overall, I really enjoyed the amount of information we got from Game Informer. It was definitely a fun read, and it's nice to hear new stuff about the game. Stay tuned for more Doom information coming from Doom Nation.